Hi. Hello, darlings. Let's start the stream. Yay. I'm here. I'm finally here. Hey.
Marshals did more than just stand around shooting, of course.
Of course. I hope my volume's doing okay. We're just gonna hop right in. We're gonna find something to do. I don't think we're gonna... Oh, I can do a hammer proving ground? Okay. Let's go.
The city's unwanted things all met their end in the yard.
Lovely.
Folks who fouled up would do their time here, smashing things to bits. The quicker they worked, the sooner they could go. Folks learned to plant their feet and put their backs into it. Others would plot a course to navigate that sea of junk.
We'll put up there. Missed a bunch of things over here.
Had to work real fast for the finest prize.
Oh, that's something. Oh, I was kind of close too. Oh. Well, the visuals of this are very nice. That's part of why I decided to play it.
Ever want to just smash things for a while? You know where to go.
Very true. Smash things like it's a Lego Star Wars game or something. Or just any Lego game, really. Oh, I do not have any money. Off we go.
The
Is that a
Langston
living
River
thing?
flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up.
It is a living bird. Oh my
Maybe all
God.
that water just grew wings and flew off.
Smash.
Riverbanks swarming with windbags.
Not if I killed them all
They're
first.
so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. Weepin' Nellie. She sends some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. A security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns.
I love it.
Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with.
The pain of having a reputation, I guess.
They try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. They try to knock her out. Well, Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors.
Meh. It will be better if I do not fall off.
At least she picked a good spot for a break, 'cause the core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. They've been watching his every move. Peckers. They had their own eyes on the core. But why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. Finds Weeping Nelly raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. She's gonna need a little help with all them peckers. Crafty things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. Security skiffs keep on coming, starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something.
That's security skiff.
The windbag's getting even better idea.
Oh.
They aim to smash Weeping Nelly to splinters.
Nope, 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 that's not allowed. God, I need to stop falling off. Stop it. That is not allowed.
They don't know the kid's just trying to help. Or maybe they don't care. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nelly.
Nope. Oh no.
She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nelly gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in pecker country. Seems the calamity ain't hurt the peckers' appetites. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid.
Fucking birds. I can't seem to dodge. Ah. And I'm gonna die to a bird. Thank you.
Kid shoos him off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? 5 times.
Thank you for knowing exactly how many times I nearly died. Wow.
Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? There the kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? Yeah, that's the one.
I should remember that I have a shield. So curious who's singing. What's this? Music's getting quieter this way. Yep. And there should be a switch somewhere. Oh my god. You and your DMC. Fucking birds.
Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes.
One day that wall is gonna fall. Gonna build that city on a hill. Gonna build that city on a hill. Some
They'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow her again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find.
Still gotta talk to
A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. So many secrets in there, and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal.
Ah!
Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see, but leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Most of the Ura never got a taste of Ceylondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. Behold the Pantheon. A Kobe.
Well, perhaps onwards? Mayhaps?
We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds.
But there's still so much space on the map. Is this just the first part of the game? Okay then.
The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it.
Okay.
No what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having two. Savage things lurking at every turn. Pincushions ain't the worst of it either.
Oh my god. One I can handle. I don't know about two.
Good thing pincushions can't see where they're shooting.
Okay.
Becker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon. Kid learns the hard way not to touch those things. By now, kids got more needles in them than a stab weed. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another.
Oh
He
boy.
digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Wallflowers survive the calamity. Best take it real slow when pincushions are afoot.
This is gonna take forever. Nobody, nope, nope, nope.
Slinger Jawson's old outpost is all that's left of him. Don't ever turn your back on a pincushion. Kid's roused up half the wilds by now.
I hope I'm going the right way.
Then Kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. The Calamity must have scrambled their eggs. He's anxious to get back. The Wild's already reclaimed this place. Wild green vine apples, about the only good thing out here. Hardly any signs of the old Jawson camp. A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far. Kid's seen the last of them.
Okay. I think that's everything in this area. Maybe. Well, I'm glad it's better.
After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right?
Ha ha ha.
Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot.
Yeah.
Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The Calamity failed, he says. But I will not.
I'm sorry.
And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone.
What fucking happened?
Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. Zolf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. When Zolf got through reading that journal, he just snapped, started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. The Masons, we built the city strong. Now there's only two of us. Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm. The marshals learned to pack those shells full of fire. Come on, give the little tyke a break. The city brought the shards to the wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back.
Okay then. Or I could try a proving ground. Because that's chill. That's relaxed.
You have to think fast to survive the wilds, and none thought faster than the slingers. They could shoot their pistols with the speed of a machine. They knew just when to start shooting and when to stop. Those pistols could spit out rounds just as quick as you could pull the trigger. Learning to hold your fire could be its own challenge. The slingers were much quicker than the average pistolier.
I don't think I'm good at gunslinging.
Well, even the slingers weren't quick enough to escape the calamity.
Oof. I just like the breaker's bow. Don't ask me why. I just like it. Let's go.
After Zolf's little episode, Kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad. But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the Core's medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating.
Oh, lovely.
Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know. Wherever he is, it's somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go. There's no way out.
What? Oh. Do I just survive?
Kid can't fall, no matter how hard he tries.
Do I talk to her?
The dead welcome him with open arms.
Oh.
Kid pops him good. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. What do you say to a kid who's seen too much? I'm Zolf of Liura. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, vine apples, swamp weeds, ankle gators.
Please not all of those at once. Or wait. No, those still hurt. Okay. But everything else. What the fuck?
Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid sets foot inside one of Caelondia's famous watering holes. He has the nerve to flash the shield he stole. He's a petty thief. The security's just gonna have to straighten him out. Kid succeeds where the calamity failed.
What?
Would you look at what he did to poor old Ronde the bartender? Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of Pith, the bull. The gods, they're all undone. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's come undone too. He sees what's left undone. Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole.
That was painful.
Disgusting things. Ever heard of a lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say.
Wretched. Nope. Like this.
The breath on that thing, like a scumbag sprung a leak.
Am I actually succeeding in killing it? I cannot tell.
They say one whiff of lung blossom can make you lose your mind. Bootlickers dig their nasty thorns into his heels. Well, the kid prunes it down to size somehow.
Okay. We good? We good? Ah!
Hard to get a sure footing in the bog.
Okay, this is just more terrorists for fighting it. Okay. Okay.
Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it.
It was kind of, you know, horrible. Yeah.
A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place.
I have gotten more upgrades for my weapons than half of my other things. But also more quest sounds
The
nice.
shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over.
Look at that. Look at all these new quests. That's... Oh, lovely. Well, more suffering. Actually, no. Let's check if I have any upgrades. Can't quite afford that. I could get this. But I will not be using this anytime soon.
The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan.
Legendary Queen Ankle Gator. I cannot wait.
Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothus Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts what don't know up from down, still lurking about. Only the city's brushers knew their way around the lagoon. These beasts, they don't like company.
Of course.
Even the brushers learned to fear this place. They used to think that ankle gators were extinct.
Oh!
Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne.
That's lovely. I am scared now.
The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Know what smells worse than an ankle gator's breath? A stinkweed. Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools.
Ah!
The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. They say you can't hurt an ankle gator unless it's raining. And it ain't raining.
God damn it.
That's ankle gator country for you. Sharp sticks make Queen Anne nervous, so she backs off a bit. Most of those peckers are smart enough to stay out of Queen Anne's way.
Oh, yeah. You're not gonna let me go back now. That's okay.
Those pin cushions been living off the ankle gator's scraps.
Oh, please, God. Ah. I want my hammer back.
Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths.
That's convenient.
Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch.
Okay. Well, you know what we're not doing? Going into the tall grass. What? Oh, God. Well, if this is working, the ricochet is slowly killing that one. Oh, so slowly. Okay, please fix direction.
He holds his ground. Seems the Queen's running out of options. Still no sign of the shard.
Oh, I could get my hammer back. But at the same time, I have a poke stick. I guess I will keep
The
this.
closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. Those leaping lunkheads don't like Queen Anne any better than the kid. That old gator's right on his tail.
like that. Oh god.
Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Seems even stinkweeds know to stay away from the queen. Can't get hasty in a place like this.
Well, what else am I supposed to do? Tonic, thank you.
Queen's got one mean bite.
Fuck. I am in gator country and I do not like it.
Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait. The shard's sitting in plain view. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. He's got it, and now to finish her off.
How?
She's starting to get annoyed.
Oh. Her being annoyed means she does that faster. Fuck. Oh no. Oh no.
Want to get eaten by an ankle gator? You know where to go.
Well, fuck. How far back are we
Rotha's
gonna
Lagoon. That ain't the sort of place you'd want to go by choice.
Oh.
Many a tale folks use to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts what don't know up from down, still lurking about. Only the city's brushers knew their way around the lagoon. Even the brushers learned to fear this place. They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne. The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Know what smells worse than an ankle gator's breath? A stinkweed.
This time, let's try to survive.
Ain't time for pecker hunting, but the kid can't resist.
I can't resist because he had health.
Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. They say you can't hurt an ankle gator unless it's raining. And it ain't raining. Sharp sticks make Queen Anne nervous, so she backs off a bit.
We're doing better. Oh, I can throw this? I can throw this.
Those pin cushions been living off the ankle gator's scraps. Kid's got a mean throwing arm. Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap.
Okay, I still need to be careful.
One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch.
Wait.
He holds his ground. Seems the queen's running out of options. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. Those leaping lunkheads don't like Queen Anne any better than the kid. That old gator's right on his tail. Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Seems even stinkweeds know to stay away from the queen. Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around.
Well,
Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a
is
kid
it
as
better
bait.
than last time?
The
I don't know
shard's
what
sitting
it
in
is.
plain view. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. She's starting to get annoyed.
This is where it actually gets hard. This is where it gets hard. Maybe those were supposed to be helpful to me, but like... Nah, man.
Made her mad. Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushers.
I did it. I did it. What? Map a shard. Where do we go now? Oh, right, that makes sense.
Kid's done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel.
Is that a mailbox? It's empty, but it's a mailbox.
All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it.
I mean...
Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. To fix a brusher's pike, you just need a good length of knife bark. A sail hammer's only as strong as its spine. And that's a strong spine. Kid don't always care for fancy guns and things. A bow and pike will do just fine. They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't.
Okay, but like... We just gonna keep this in?
That gator's a crazy gal. But so's the gal who promised to look after her.
Oh. Okay. We just have a pet inculcator now. Ah!
The brushers, they moved in shadows, but the calamity found them. I've asked a lot of the kid, but this is something he's done on his own. Still no mail. Go figure. sip of lunkhead liqueur'll toughen you up. Too bad it's like drinking a saddlebag. The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds.
But we do the proving ground first, because it's fun.
To prepare for the wilds, Ceylandia's brushers practice at Camp Donce. Had to navigate a maze of pincushions with nothing but a pike.
Wait, am I gonna get my shield? No, I'm not.
It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job. Health tonics were off limits at Camp Donce. They said they made you weak.
Fuck you too. I know, I'm just killing it with pincushions when I don't really need to.
The rules said he couldn't use any fancy footwork, just your brains and your pike.
I don't really need to take that one. Well, this area is nice and quiet, but that means I missed one somewhere. Probably fair.
Just getting through the course in one piece was an accomplishment.
I'll take it.
You can see why the brushers prize those pikes of theirs.
They're pretty nice fights. Anyway, more story time.
Know how Ceylandia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here.
Nope.
But now, the greatest outpost past the city line is nothing but a freak show. The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. Grand rails all grown over with things that Calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Lets a few of them slip by. Lunkheads settled in like they own the place. Takes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers coughing fungus everywhere. Only one way to cure a cough like that.
What's at the end of this one, I wonder? And more. It's just, yeah.
Place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple. Of course, the Grand Rail's seen much more fighting in bygone times. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Celandian War. It was right here that Zulf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad.
Nice to know.
The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While shooting a genuine registered army carbine? While choking on swamp weed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye?
No, but I have
Let
now.
me tell you, it ain't fun.
Oh, God. Life is not good. Come on. That's nice. Let me out. Oh. Nobody has time to aim this thing.
But then, at last, it's the end of the line. He'll be picking swamp weed out of those boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him.
No, thank you.
Not just another wallflower or pincushion, mind you.
Oh no.
At first, he thinks it's Zulf. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone, but something else is there. The only words the kid recognizes on that parchment are for Zia.
Okay, then.
Well, what's a kid to do?
Go home.
He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it?
Can I put it in a mailbox? No. Okay. It's just gonna go straight to her.
The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf.
Oh, fuck you too, Zulf.
Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. Zulf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zulf told him. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head.
Oh, lovely. Are we gonna do 20 waves again?
I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this. What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once. Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Celandia. Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. The mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father. Her father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him. Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the Mancers. It's for your own good, he said. She took to studying the arts, learned more through music than history books, gained a knack for strings and songs. At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city. One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him.
Oh.
The young man convinced her to take him to her family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals.
I can already tell that this guy lied to her, but okay.
When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out. The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult.
The birds are really the worst.
It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals.
Nope, 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 nope. Okay, these are the second worst.
They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag. Then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal.
Oh, that's disgusting. Baby incubators. Horrific. Oh god. Ah! I can't decide. Ah! Am I just gonna have to trade hits until one of them dies? Oh. That's fun.
Her plan almost succeeded, but the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls. The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tassel terminals.
That city
She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Returned to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free. Before they parted ways for the last time, her father whispered a desperate plea. Hurry home to the den and lock yourself in.
build that wall up to the sky.
Oh,
Gonna fly. Home, build that wall until it's done.
did as she was told, and deep down underground inside that den, she found a journal written in her father's hand. The next day, the door to the den turned to ash. The girl came up for air, and she saw the calamity all around her. When the kid wakes up, his world's still in pieces, just the way he left it.
Wow! Okay. I think that's a good place to end the stream. So, that was fun. And good night, darlings.